I told y'all what I was gonna do. I said I'm gonna beat Valdez, Canelo, and Eddie Reynoso. That was my game plan. Beat the whole team, and I feel good about it. Much respect to them, no disrespect to them, but that was my game plan.
So, as I predicted, this was going to be Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo all over again. Even Oscar De La Hoya co-signed the message where he tweeted, quote, Canelo Mayweather, end of the quote. After watching Shakur Stevenson smash Oscar Valdez right in front of Canelo Alvarez, giving Canelo flashbacks to when Floyd Mayweather did the exact same thing to him. I mean, every time they showed Canelo reaction during the fight, it was that I already been there frustration type of look. It almost seemed like Canelo felt guilty for sacrificing Oscar Valdez to the NBF League. After all, this is the first fighter on the coincidental list that Oscar Valdez fought in his entire professional career. Now, leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez said that this is going to be a tough fight for Oscar Valdez. However, he believed Oscar Valdez's experience was going to grant him the victory come fight night, in which I made a video on that. I'm going to leave the link for that video in the comment section below, where I said Shakur Stevenson is going to test Canelo Alvarez's experience theory, since Canelo and his fans love to make excuses to this day to why a prime Canelo at 23 years old with 43 fights as a pro, in addition to 8 years experience as a professional and a unified champion, lost to the little grandpa Floyd, who was 36 years old and 15 pounds smaller than Canelo Alvarez. Now, with Floyd Mayweather smashing Canelo with all of the disadvantages, even then, Canelo being a sore loser, he blamed the loss on Floyd Mayweather having more experience. The way he put it, experiente. Well, as we all saw last night, Canelo Alvarez's experience theory failed to pass the test, as the youngin Shakur Stevenson smashed Oscar Valdez, shattering Canelo Alvarez's experience excuse right in front of his face, proving that skills and talent win fights, not experience excuses, nor PED. If we take a look at the stats, Shakur Stevenson last night had 26 less fights than when Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather. They were also nearly the same age, with Shakur only being 1 year older. On the other hand, unlike Floyd Mayweather being old at 36, Oscar Valdez was still in his prime at 31 years old, in which, ironically for Canelo, we still had the same results. And that's simply, skills pay the bills. The better fighter won, as Shakur Stevenson debunked Canelo Alvarez's experience theory once again. What we all witnessed last night is the reason why Canelo Alvarez turned down his biggest payday at the time of $40 million guaranteed to fight Andrade for undisputed, after Canelo said out of his own mouth that his dream and his goal is to become the first undisputed middleweight Mexican champion of the world.
Putting the fact that he's fighting in June aside, can you give me your thoughts about the possibility of a fight against Demetrius Andrade and the prospect of becoming the undisputed champion?
Sí, no, el que tenga el título, eso es lo que queremos el título y pues obviamente ese es el objetivo, ¿no? Vamos a sentarnos con nuestro equipo a ver qué es lo que viene, pero el objetivo es ganar los 4 títulos en peso medio.
Yes, that's the goal. Look, whoever has the title, doesn't matter. Our goal is to unify all the belts, become the undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
But Canelo gave up on his goal, his dream of money and legacy, in order to avoid having the Oscar Valdez faith, the Oscar Valdez beatdown. So Canelo turned down and ducked the undisputed fight with Demetrius Andrade. Canelo also turned down $50 million plus pay-per-view to fight Jermall Charlo. He also vacated his belt to duck his mandatory Jermall Charlo, just like Oscar Valdez vacated his WBO title back at 126 to avoid his mandatory Shakur Stevenson. The only difference is Oscar Valdez 3 years later ended up fighting Shakur Stevenson, unlike Canelo Alvarez, who 8 years later still avoiding Charlo and Andrade to this day, in which Canelo created. He's the pioneer of the NBF, the No Black Fighters Witness Protection franchise, the NBF league in the sport of boxing. Now, if I'm Oscar Valdez, I will feel betrayed since Canelo sacrificed Valdez to the NBF league. Something Canelo doesn't have the cojones to do. If I was Valdez, I would have told Canelo, if you want me to fight Shakur, then go ahead and fight Demetrius Andrade. Then go ahead and fight Charlo. Step by step, me and you both gonna put an end to the NBF duck print that you yourself started, Canelo. I mean, this was the definition of sacrificing, if you ask me. Canelo asking Valdez to do something he's not willing to do. Furthermore, this is why Canelo Alvarez's own trainer, Eddie Reynoso, came out and said, quote, African American fighters are the most difficult. They are the most difficult to fight and have the most complicated style. End of the quote. This is what Canelo Alvarez's own trainer said. And would you believe the last time Canelo Alvarez fought an undefeated Black American fighter, he lost every single minute of every single round of that fight to Floyd Mayweather. So he created an NBF duck print. But luckily for Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez finally grew the cojones and threw that duck print out of the window. What you guys saw last night is the reason why Canelo created the NBF league in the sport of boxing. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you disagree with any of the facts I mentioned, then please do me a huge favor. I challenge you to point out exactly what I said you disagree with. It ain't no secret. 95% of Canelo Alvarez fans, they are emotionally attached where their emotion clouds their vision from seeing the truth. So they end up trolling in the comment section to defend Canelo Alvarez right or wrong. Therefore, to all the Canelo Alvarez fans, don't just troll in the comment section. Y'all making it too obvious and easy. I want you to point out the facts you guys disagree with your emotional opinion. I want to know exactly what part of the truth is burning your emotional soul. With the facts being laid out, subscribe below and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
Canelo, you a bitch. I'm putting it out there. No, I don't like to disrespect men that step into the ring, but then you fighting Kirtland that hasn't been in the ring since Glenn Tapia. When you have an opportunity to fight Demetrius Andrade for the WBO, damn, I thought in the sport of boxing, people want to be a champion, to have that title. I understand you got De La Hoya, you got the promotion team, you got the money, you got the contract, I mean, you got the country, you got the country behind you, the fan base. But damn, you scared of getting into a fight. I thought you was the man. If I knew some Espanol, I'd hit you up with that too, but damn. Come on, man, stop playing. Like, shit, man, all I want to do is fight, show people I'm the best in the world. I thank God for everything that comes my way, and every obstacle that comes my way, man, I know how to slip and slide in between, man.